when I was in prison, all these women would always say like they were going to get out and they were going to do so good, they were going to get their kids back and they were going to get good jobs and they weren't going to come back to prison. And there was this one girl in particular, her name was Sandra, and like I looked up to her so much because she said all the right things, did all the right things. Even like the officers and the counselors were all like, look at Sandra, she's doing it. Like, you guys follow in her footsteps. And so I did. I took so much wisdom from her, and she helped me so much because I was just like a lost little puppy. Inevitably, these women would get out of prison and we would wait for their letters and wait to hear from them, and we never heard from them. And sure enough, 2, 3, 4 months later, they'd be back in prison. And I was so disappointed. Like, I needed somebody to get out of prison and like be successful so that I could follow in their footsteps. Like, I was just hungry for some motivation, some inspiration. And I remember the day that I said, okay, well, that's not going to happen, so it's up to me. I have to be my own inspiration. And I did. I did everything in prison that you can possibly do to improve yourself. I went to 12-step meetings. I journaled every single day. I got up before everybody else did and did prayer and meditation so that like the halls were busy and prison is loud. I exercised. I ate as healthy as I could. Like, I fostered good relationships. Like, just the list is endless. If it looked like it could improve me as a person, I did it. And I got out of prison and I got my son back and I got a job and I started working at my church and I was volunteering and I was doing like all the things. And how about they invited me back to the prison to like do a speech to talk to the women who were still incarcerated. It was such an honor, you know? So I went back into the prison and I did my little talk, and it was like in this little ATU building, which was like the drug rehab kind of like section of the prison. And how about on the way out of there, when I was leaving the prison, they called a big fire drill in the prison. And every time that happened, every single person had to leave their building and go line up by building on the yard. And so there's every single woman in the prison is out on the yard, and I'm walking from like the ATU building up to the gate to leave, and somebody saw me because they're all out there, and somebody says, "I love you, Amanda." And then a couple other girls were like, "Oh my God, that's Amanda." And like all of the girls out there were like, "Hey Amanda, we love you, Amanda. We're so proud of you." And like everybody was just waving and hollering and sending all this love towards me as I'm walking by. And like the officer who was walking with me was like, "Dang girl, like who are you?" And like it was just the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. I got to be that person. I got to be that person on that day. So, be your own inspiration and inspire others.